One of the questions I get asked the most is, what is the best age for children to be when you divorce? This is not a one-size-fits-all answer, but in today's video, I'm going to explore all the different things that will happen at all the different ages of your children so you can make the best decision. But first, will you please subscribe to my channel? That's how these videos are going to get in front of more of the people who really need to hear this information. I'm Victoria McCooey. I'm a narcissist divorce coach, a motivational speaker, and the creator of the Reclaim Your Power system. I help people every day who are right where you are, stuck in a toxic marriage to a narcissistic spouse, or already engaged in a contentious divorce from one. All right, so if you have children and you are in a toxic marriage and you're trying to figure out the best time to leave, I know you have a lot of questions. You want to do what's best for your children. So there are pros and cons to any age that your children are at. So let me tell you what I see and what my clients have experienced in different stages of ages of children and what that looks like in a divorce. So if your children are very, very young, the pros are that they're not really going to remember you being together. So this is their normal. This will always be their normal. So that seems like a very advantageous time, right? But the con is that when children are that young, they're so easily manipulated. And it's easier for the narcissist to groom them from an early age to believe things that aren't true, or maybe even turn them against the other parent. So yes, they're pros, but they're also cons. Now, what if your children are older, say middle or high school? A lot of times I hear people think, well, they're so close to being in college. I think it's best if I just wait till they're out of the house. Wait till they don't have to live through this turmoil and disruption. But the con to that is teenagers are also easily manipulated. They can be bought. A lot of times the moneyed spouse, who, if they're the narcissistic spouse in this marriage, will hold things over their heads, will tell the children, if you don't do XYZ, I'm not paying for your college tuition. At this age, children understand the value of money and how much they need to be supported. And that is another way a narcissist can control their children. And then I hear people say, well, I'm just going to wait until they're out of college and they're on their own and they're adults, and then I'll figure out what to do. All right, well, yeah, then they're adults and they're not supported. They're not in the household. That's great, but what about you? No. So you've given up your entire life to do what's best for you, to move on. And what have your children witnessed? Your children have grown up in a household where one person is being abused in some way, shape, or form, is controlled by the other person, is unhappy, is compromised, is not their whole self, is not fulfilled, and that's their role model. You're their role model. So if it's a daughter, she may think that this is what she has to expect, and this is as good as it is and normal, and she should only expect that same sort of marriage or treatment from a spouse. And if it's a son, they might believe that that is the right way to treat their wife and to have a marriage and to raise their family in the same way. So you're creating generational patterns by doing this. All right, so now we know there is no perfect time, right? Every stage of a child's development has pros and cons to whether that's a good time for you to leave your marriage. So how do you decide? Here is the litmus test. When you are able to get out, that's when you should get out. And what that entails is doing some inner work on you. You need to be the strongest version of you. You need to decide what your boundaries are and what you will accept and how you're going to change things so that you can have the happy life that you deserve. If that means leaving, then the time to leave is when you're strong enough to do it. When you know that whatever life will be like on the other side has got to be better than where you are now. And your children will adapt. Your children will be fine. Your children will survive this. They do it every day. Your children are not the first children to go through a divorce. Probably half of their friends come from divorced families. So they will not be alone. And the stronger you are, the more of a support you can be to them. So this is all on you. This is all on you to work on you, to put your own oxygen mask on first. Worry less about what time is best for your children and more about how you can get to be the strongest version of yourself so that you can actually do this work, because they're going to need you. They're going to need you to be strong and confident and have conviction for what is happening so that they feel safe. So it all is on you, but don't make that an excuse not to do the work. This is important work that you need to do. If you need help getting to the point where you're strong enough to do this for yourself and your children, then I invite you to book a call with me. There will be a link in the description below where you can get right on my calendar. Did you find this information helpful? I hope you did. If you liked this video, will you please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I've linked a couple of other videos here that I think you might also like, so I hope I see you in the next video.